Hey guys, this is B2010, and I'm bringing you another Halo Wars video. No, I'm just kidding. Hey guys, metaloidmonkey here, and I'm bringing you a video response to Smug Big Bird's demonstration of how to play Cutter on docks, because I just wanted to be more clear about some of the different build options you have on this map, and I just disagree with his idea of what is the best build on this map. So right away, you just build your first hog, and you send it straight over to the collect the crates right above the base, your expansion base. Take your expansion base right away, and you collect the close crates because you're building an extra hog, and you don't want to delay a pad. And as long as you collect the crates right next to that base and don't go to the middle for the crates, you won't have to delay a pad, so you'll be just fine. And you just rally point for the next set of crates, and see right there, no delay on the pad, good to go. And you get straight into the build, and you're better off. So I'm just going to address that. When he did his video, he explained that you go like reactor 4th and 5th, and you get a quick double depot up, and you're just going to build quick tanks. That is one of the options. But the main thing to remember with any tank build is that you pretty much always go for, on a double base map, you pretty much always go for reactor 4th on your main base. That will give you the option to upgrade pads early, go for quick tanks, drop out early Mac. It's just the most versatile build. And if you really wanted to, you could candy down tech out of it, although that's not really recommended. So the main thing here is just to keep gathering supplies and just get your reactor up 4th, and then you're going to also go for a reactor 6th on your main base, and then delay your 5th pad on your expo for a vehicle depot. Now the goal of this is to make it so that you have both of your depots on your front base. So I've already collected 4 things of supplies, and I'm just going to now just show you where the other supplies are. So there's a set of crates there that you can usually get some of. The turret can hit you, but you can generally get all of those, honestly. And just stay towards the bottom edge. And I was just going to collect a little bit of those just to demonstrate that that's generally what you'll be able to get. And I'm just going to go show you the other set of crates. And I'm going to, now that I've got my reactor up, I'm going to upgrade as many pads as I can afford, and before I have to pay for my second tech. And so if you look on the minimap towards the top right of the map, there's another set of crates with this crate spawn. And I'm actually trying to upgrade 2 pads. If you get, I mean, if I didn't want to go collect 6 things of supplies, even though I can usually get it in a regular game, because as Mitch was saying, I didn't want to be unrealistic. But it's no big deal, and I'm able to upgrade. I had to stop the upgrade on one of the pads because I couldn't afford to do it before I got my second tech up, because I don't want to delay the second tech. Because I want to be able to get my VD as soon as possible, because I'm already delaying a pad on the expo for it. Now, if I really wanted to, I can throw a second depot on my main base and just try to stay that way the entire game, get rid of a pad, get a third tech up or something. You also have the option to go for a barracks on your main base, and if you want to get a quick Spartan tank out, but I'm just going to build another supply pad there. Because I was thinking about showing that build, but it's just really if you want to, if you're having trouble in terms of harassment versus an arbiter, and their arbiter has enough eco to raid your tanks when you get them out, you can just do it this way, and that way you will be able to get a quick Spartan tank, and he's not going to be able to rage that, so you'll be able to push him off with your first tank instead of waiting for 3 canny. So I like to upgrade 4 pad. I just find it's the best number in relation to balancing your early game and your late game. I could have stopped and just gone with 3 pads. Not very significant, but I feel that the 4th pad does pay off in time for even a short game, and it'll definitely help me carry myself into the late game. So I'm just going to get my tanks out, and I'm going to send them over, and I'm going to go clear that base. Now what Smug did was he did reactor 4th and 5th on his main base. You can also go reactor 4th on your main and 4th on your expo, and then double depot. Basically, that's to get quick. That's if they're going hogs, to get the hogs off your base quickly, because they can't stop both of your depots, and you should be all set to do that. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to collect the crates in front of that expansion base after I take it out with my tank there, and I want to get fortress as soon as possible. I mean, I could stick with the depot, but it depends on what they're going to go do. So generally, if I'm like I said in the repo video already, if you're going to be versing like a chieftain or an arbiter, if you need canning, you can go straight into that reactor. Otherwise, you can get that vehicle depot built if you can't afford the reactor. But if you need canny, you do want to just delay and get that reactor up. So I'm just gonna delay the tank just to make sure I have that depot built, because then I'll have double depot and I'll be all set. Now, if you went for the early Spartan tank, you're actually clear to just go for the second depot. But generally, when you get rid of your barracks from that Spartan tank build, you're going to be going for your third tech. And you only just build like one or two Spartans, no more than that, because you don't want to delay your canny too far. Because you want to still be competitive in the tank war, while being able to push their arbiter off nice and easy early game. So I'm just going to get another tank out, and then I'm just going to delay and get my canny out. I think it looks like I canceled. Yeah, basically when you go canny with 3 or 4 tanks, and that's just going to be the ideal number, because, I mean, it's not really useful to have canny before then. You can go for canny, like, some people will go, like, when you canny down tech, you'll have, like, no tank canny, or you can even have, like, 1 or 2 tank canny, but when you go for the 3 to 4 tank canny, you're just setting yourself up for late game. And you can really, right after canny, you can keep building your tanks, or you can just try to rush straight into PT. Generally, you want to go like at least 6 tank PT. Please don't do like 4 tank PT. Please don't, because if the other team's massing canny tanks while you're trying to go PT, they're gonna have like 8 canny, and there's a point in the game where they could just push through, kill your entire army, and just roll you over. So you just don't want to set yourself up for failure like that. So a lot of times you can choose where you want to sit with your tanks. Generally, you sit like behind your base and just endure a bit of damage on your supply pads if you need to. You can push up to mid-map, sit kind of on their side if you really want. It depends on like how the game's going, depending on where you're going to be sitting. If you let them like attack your base first, you'll be able to generally, and if you sit behind your base, you'll be able to get like first canning off, and that could help turn a tank fight. But other than that, you're just gonna make sure that you keep your tank numbers up and get yourself straight going into PT. And all you gotta do is make sure that you just don't get math. Oh yeah, also, you can build like a Cobra and sit it behind your base if you need to, so they can't push. And you can also mass canny and push, or you can go for the earlier PT. Just make sure you keep your numbers even and know when they're going for their PT, so that you know if you need to put it up or not. Because when they're trying to go PT, if you're not close enough to go PT, just push, kill a few of their tanks, then pull back. So that's pretty much all it is for this build. Basically, if you wanted to go PT, you just delete one of the supply pads on your expo, put up your $1,000 reactor when you have 1,100. And then you will be able to pay for your PT at 900, delete that reactor, and then you get after you pay for PT, you can delete that reactor, get a barracks up. Now Smug did a triple depot build, but the thing about the triple depot is that it loses to the Spartan tanks, because the thing is, like, as much as you'll be able to outproduce with the triple depot, if you have the Spartans, your tanks are going to be much stronger. And you'll be able to easily turtle on defense with your Spartans until you have like neural implant on them. And basically, he might be building more tanks, but your tanks are just not going to die. So you're going to get some veterancy on him. And then after that, you can keep upgrading your paths, throw a field armory up, get reinforcements and reserves, or even get a third depot after that. But you want to make sure that you keep your barracks up, because you don't want to be losing your Spartans and then not being able to rebuild them, because that can lose you the game. So now that I feel like I've gone over Docs 3 basically. I mean that's how you do it. It's pretty much the best way to do it. Some people argue that there's no best tank build, but I mean it seems to work for me. So you can just try it out. It works just fine. So now I'm just going to demonstrate one of the concepts that Zero Subset was talking about in his last video. He was referring to where to mac a base and how much damage it does, and I said, no. When you mac a base, macking the location of of the Mac does not affect the damage, only the amount of splash damage it does. So basically, I'm not building on any of my bases. I just turn on Emperor so my Mac Blast comes back faster so that I can do this sooner. And what I'm going to explain here is that he claims that macking in the middle of the base does the most damage, and I say no, macking at the edge of the base does the most damage because you're less prone to splash, and that's the only thing that determines how much damage you do. Same thing with the Covey base. He macked in the middle of the base, he splashed on a shield generator, could have done more damage if he macked right at the entrance of the base. Now, the only reason in that video that the Mac Blast didn't do as much damage as it could have is because it splashed on the guy's tanks that were coming out of his base. But basically just Mac at the front edge and you're good to go. So also, if you Mac at one of the other edges of the base and they click up a pad, you could splash onto the pad, so generally just Mac towards the front edge so you don't risk splashing on pads. So I'll make sure I heal that base before I actually Mac it, just so everything's a clear comparison. So what I did there was I locked all my bases just for the sake of consistency, and I locked a hog in the two bases in my main. I locked a hog in my main base and the base next to my main base to show where you Mac affects the damage when there's units locked in a base. And I had already known this, and the idea is that if you Mac the center of a base and there's units locked in the base, the Mac won't do as much damage, whereas if you Mac the edge, it'll still do full damage, even when there's units locked in the base. So now my Mac Blast is almost back, and I'm going to just be waiting to throw a heal on the base, because I don't want him coming back with any more units. Stupid AI. And I'm just going to drop a Mac, one in the middle, one on the edge, and then one in the middle, and one on the edge for the other bases as well. I'm just waiting for the heal to disappear, just so there's no other claim for any factors affecting it. No hog locked in this base, just waiting for that heal to disappear. And so I'm just going to Mac the middle of the base, since it does the most damage, as Zero Subset claims. But I completely disagree. Now, if you didn't know this already, one Mac does not kill a fortress. That's why I did it in deathmatch. Also, and now Mac in the edge, same amount of damage, but when I Mac the middle of these, this has a hog locked in it, and this also has a hog locked in it, and now I'm Macking the edge of the hog locked in base, and you see it barely doesn't even do half damage, and when you Mac the edge, it does the same damage as all the other bases. That's how much it brings it down to. Yellow just showing up, and that's how much it brings it down to. And Mac in the middle of a hog locked in base, not as much damage. Mac at the edge of a hog locked in base, same amount of damage as the other bases. So just always Mac the edge of the base, don't splash in any pads, and you'll be good to go with your Mac Blasts. Happy Macking. If you liked the video, comment, like, and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time with a 2v2 video.